Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, podcast world. It's Terrence Grundy, and it's June 15th, 2020. It's 9:58 a.m., and I'm hitting you off with another morning motivation. It's a good Monday, and I'm here to help you start your day, your week off, your life off right. I'm here to talk about something positive, and hopefully it will inspire you to do great things with your life. And today I'm going to talk about time. Use your time wisely. Today is a day that can't be replaced. Like, once time is gone, once you missed it, once you slept on it or slept in on it or whatever, please try to get in some sort of routine of doing something. Take action today, because tomorrow is not promised. You never know what you do today, what fruits and prosperity of from your works and labors will come from that. And every day, try to do something positive. Try to keep a positive mindset. Stop indulging in such negativity and negative acts. I mean, do something that will bear fruit. What you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. You definitely want to go out and do something positive. Make use of the time that you are given, because when you don't use the time and you say, oh man, where has the time gone? And you're not planting seeds in your life that's going to bear fruit to the point where maybe your finances or your mental health or your physical health, it's called the compound effect. They say that if you do at least 10 push-ups every day, then it'll compound the efforts of like doing multiple push-ups. It'll be like, how can I put it? You do 10 a day, you will see the results. That's like, and then you'll go from that as a practice to upping it, 10 today, 20 the next day, 30 the next day, and so forth, if you can. But if you can't, just start off with doing 10 a day. And I promise you, you will see a drastic change. Like, you've got to plant those seeds. You'll start seeing your arms form and your muscles form and your stomach tighten from not just doing push-ups. And then they say do like 10 sit-ups a day, 10 crunches a day. Do something of that nature so that the compound effect will take form. So that way you can see that this is what I'm getting out of this. This is what this is working for me. And I definitely want to keep trying and keep putting it out there to the point where, like I say, this is something that I want. This is something that I need to happen. I need to take place in my life. And I want to make a change. Like Michael Jackson said, I'm gonna make a change. So please do something positive with your life. They say read a book, learn a new word, do something. I think the number is 10,000 steps in a day. I don't really have one of those watches that calculates that, but there's certain days where I try to, I make the attempt, It's definitely, you'll definitely, if energy is created, like you can create energy. If you start something or whatever and you're creating that energy, it gives you energy, because energy is never, it never goes away. You know what I mean? It either, it's transferable. It's just like someone who has a headache or somebody who calls and vents to you. Next thing you know, they're feeding you that negative energy, and now you have negative energy in your atmosphere, your corner, and your element. I whenever I talk to someone, I always say, "Tell me something good. Tell me something good." Yeah. I always say that because I don't really want to hear negative stuff. I'm not one of those people that I don't want to hear somebody call and say that they were going to argue with their moms or their boyfriend or girlfriend, and they had a physical altercation, or that somebody cut them off at the light, or anything of that nature. Like, you don't want to spiral. You don't want anything to interrupt the positive energy. If it's sunny outside, be happy. If it's raining outside, be happy. I'm at a point where I try to stay happy, but my emotions kind of fluctuate, because if you're watching television and sad stuff is happening or whatever, it's okay. That kind of affects you too, I feel, but it's okay. It's just TV. And there's times where, right now, I'm watching whatever I want, really. I'm running through TV shows because I have the time to do it right now. So the TV show that I am currently watching is Chicago PD, and it's emotionally, it's all over the place. I just watched the episode this morning, and it had to do with a guy killing these two little black boys, his kids, and they were like, it was a gang robbery gone wrong, and he was part of the gang. He was like the first lieutenant of the gang, and his friend or whatever was like the shot caller. So it just goes to show. Then the kid that the guy killed was the shot caller, the head guy, the boss, whatever you want to call him, chief, all of that. His nephew was one of the guys that got killed. And he killed them because they were basically witnesses. And it just kind of, one of the detectives or whatever, just kind of took him down. And, they used like this new facial recognition software. And after they used it, they arrested the wrong guy, black guy, of course. And then they go back and talk to the tech, because that's when they had found out that the guy wasn't the guy that killed the kids. They got the wrong guy. And when they were using the tech, the facial recognition software they were using, the guy was him and their boss and swore by it. Like, oh yeah, we're going to get them with this software, so they can identify pretty much anyone. It has this large database of people. So they get a hit, they go and get the guy, but like Hank, like the group or whatever called intelligence, out of Chicago or whatever, precinct 21, and that's where Al Capone used to pretty much run. And anyway, like I say, check out the show, Chicago PD. It's a really good show. I recommend it, along with all of Dick Wolf's other shows like Law and Order SVU and Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, FBI Most Wanted, all of those. And I also recommend all the NCIS shows, even though they're not his. NCIS Los Angeles, NCIS New Orleans. If you're an action guy, I'm an action comedy guy. I like to see the the good guys go after the bad guys. That's what I like, you know. You can say what you want about the police, but you know, at the end of the day, who you gonna call? You know, if someone was to get killed in your family, and you want to catch that person, you're gonna call the laws. You're gonna call 911. I had made a joke saying that if I call 911 at this day and age, sometimes it feels like I want to call the fire department. I feel like if something's wrong with me, the fire department is helping me from. They're there to serve to the extent of we're just here to help. You know, like they're not gonna come in with guns. They might come in with axes and chop the door down. And if you get in a wreck, they come in with the jaws of life. You know, like. I feel like the fire department doesn't get as much praise as is needed because they come in no matter what. First it might be the EMT people, then you might see a fire truck because you never know, you know, what's going on as far as the household. It might be a gas leak, it might be a fire or something. So, you know, fire department's pretty much coming regardless, you know. If a wreck happens, they're calling the fire department. They're getting them out of there with the jaws of life or whatever they got to do. That's the fire department, to me, is as public service go. They're probably the main ones that have to deal. Like, if a building is on fire, they're rushing in to save lives. That's what they do. And I've only seen a few episodes of the Chicago Fire Show because, you know, like I say, they're tied in together, all those Chicago shows, and each show has like family ties. Like, oh, my brother is a detective, and the brother of the detective is like a doctor, and then you have a guy who's a detective who has a sister who's a firefighter, you know. So all those shows are so tied together in the city of Chicago, which I'm not interested in living in Chicago at all.
This Labor Day at Lowe's, shop member-only doorbuster deals for a limited time. Save $50 on an Ego string trimmer, now $169. Plus, get 50% off select Holland pavers. Not a rewards member? Sign up for free today. But hurry, Labor Day doorbuster deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/1 while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Because, man, Chicago seems like one of the tougher cities to, you know, when they say Southside Chicago, I don't think I'm equipped or ready for that. And it's just like, I go to California, and if I'm in the Bay Area, they say Oakland. Oh my God, I hear, you know, just, I don't want to get shot. Then the same thing with Los Angeles or whatever. They say the jungles or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You can't get in there unless somebody know you. And same thing in like South Dallas, in certain parts of New Orleans, you know. I mean, New Orleans already has a bad rep, so, and then, you know, that pretty much is, there's always that one territory that you really don't want to go through, you know, and that's pretty much in any city, town, or whatever. And hopefully times will change, because I see things happening on the news ever since the George Floyd thing happened, and I'm seeing all the gangs coming together, tying their flags together, and I've never understood gang, you know, I never understood gangs. That's just like, but anyway, back to the point I was making. They were saying that the software that they were using was in the beta stages, it was in the testing stages, and the technician guy, whether they caught the wrong guy using that software or whatever, which it was kind of hard because everything about the case was saying that was the guy. That's the thing. First, he was in the area at the time. Then it's like he had a green duffel bag. You know, that's what the guy used to get the stuff out of the apartment. I mean, out of the house. So it seemed as if he was the guy, you know. So then they went and asked if people know him, and they were already dealing with the gangs who wanted to do street justice. So what they did is showed this picture, and a guy who had like some misdemeanor traffic ticket warrants type stuff, he got it. He turned himself in so that he could be in county with the guy after they had charged him or whatever. Because I mean, there you can hold him. You can be held up to 48 hours. So they put him in county, and hours later, you know, he didn't make it through the night because they basically you know, tried to kill him. So they stabbed him up, poked him up, and he went to the hospital, Chicago Med, and they put him in a medically induced coma. And later on in the episode, he died. Come to find out, he wasn't the right guy. That's when they went to the tech guy and was like, "You swore by this tech biometric facial recognition thing or whatever." Come to find out, he was like, "Well, it has been known to give false positives, especially in the cases of the African American community." He was like, "For blacks or whatever, it doesn't work as well." And he was like, "The worst part about it is that's because it was designed by white people, white guys, you know, who did all the algorithms and all the research and, you know, put it all together and all of that." And he was like, "The worst part about it is the darker you are, the less likely it will work." He was like, "We're still in the beta stages or whatever, so that's like 6 months to a year out before we get everything, all the kinks worked out." And like I say, Sergeant Hank Voight was really mad because he was like, "You swore by this, you know. I was against it to begin with, but you guys swore by this, you know." So, especially, you know, we're using this on the exact type of person that you're telling me that it's not going to work on. Like, well, what the heck is that, you know? So they had to go back and dig deeper in the investigation, and come to find out, the guy was one of the gang's own people. And when they identified that guy, he went to his boss, and his boss was like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" You know, because they discovered that the other guy was innocent because he was like a crackhead, you know, and he was like at one of his old friends' house, passed out on the couch after smoking or something like that. And at that time or whatever, then the time frame of when the robbery / murders took place. So it just, like I say, you know, shit hit the fan. It just hits the fan, you know, goes everywhere. So he goes back to talk to his boss and talks about what are we gonna do? We've already, like, this guy's dead because of us, and he wasn't even the right guy. So then he goes and he talks to Hank goes and sets it up to where they get street justice. And in some cases, whatever, that's just about as good as it's gonna get. You know, that's probably better than it's probably like street justice or whatever. Street justice with vigilantes, like we have Batman's out there, and he I don't know. Anyway, street justice. Street justice is this, and this is what happened. He talked to the head guy and told him, well, first he told the lieutenant guy who actually did it that, "Oh man, it's one of y'all's people, you know what I'm saying? Watch out." So he was like, so next thing you know, he goes and he moves the guns and drugs and money or whatever that he had in the green duffel bag. So he moves it, puts it in the trunk. The police get a hold to it, and he meets up with the head guy and was like, "Yeah, this is who did it, you know, lieutenant," because they took pictures and everything. And later that night, he was like, "We're gonna take care of it," you know. So he comes around, and next thing you know, they just start beating his ass. They jumped him and everything, and I mean, he knew what he was doing, right? So, but the guy deserved it. So next thing you know, like, they beat him and threw him in the trunk of a car, and then they drove off. And then the next morning, they found him somewhere in the park, I guess, the grass or wherever he was at. And they had the white sheet over him, and one of the detectives came and looked at it and was like, "Yeah, that's him," and walked off. At the same time, the superintendent of police was talking about how well the software and the program worked, the facial recognition program worked, and how in the upcoming years they'll be using it. So, politics, right? It's all a lie. Somebody's always out there to cover their ass. CYA, cover your ass. And you just never know what political views that they have and what agenda they have. And I hopefully at the end of this year and the beginning of next year, it'll be no more Trump. I can't tell you who to vote for, but I can definitely tell you who not to vote for. Oh man, if you want things to get worse or be worse like how they've been for the past 4 years, making America great again, as they say, then do what you want to do, right? I can't stop you. I can't tell you anything, but I can say a few things. And it's for the things that I've heard to be true about Donald Trump. I just can't believe, like, him not getting impeached. That's that right there will kind of make the party look bad. Like, oh man, they won't want to deal with us, our Republican Party, for a while because we let this fool come in here and mess things up after having a good president for a good 8 years. So yeah, it's crazy. And then you just never know. I would like to say this. Don't forget to look at my descriptions and click on my links to see what I got going on. Like, comment, subscribe on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to the podcast channel and any other channels out there that are streaming. Spotify and Apple and whatever I got going on. And also, I have merchandise I'm putting out. So if you're interested, it's in the link below. And I just want to say, hopefully, something I said was a touch of motivation for you. Hopefully, it helps your day to be a better day, a brighter day, a holiday. And thank y'all for listening. Peace. I'm out.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.